Kayla, the only answer I have to that is Wolfman's got nards. Wolfman's got nards. A squad of monsters, like a type of squad, like a platoon? Probably not, though, because unless Wolfman's got nards, it doesn't count. And here's the thing, too. The Wolfman also has to be like, thank you after you kill him. Because he's tired of it.
Wolfman Jack.
I'm Wolfman Gary.
Mm-hmm.
The studio is pretty spooky, everybody. I hope you're ready to get scared. Halloween. Woo. Got everything in its place. I'm going to give you a big old eyeful of it here soon, but we're in the green room right now. I don't think you'll be able to see. I've added so much stuff Halloween related that you won't even see.
Yeah.
That I'm enjoying right now. Got some. Oh, there's a haunted house I'm looking at. There's a skull. Lots of skulls. Man, here's that. Go out looking for jack-o'-lanterns. They're a dime a dozen. I got so many of them now. Put a little light bulb in them. It's like, whatever. $6 for a 10-pack. Pow, 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 pow.
Lots of jack-o'-lanterns.
Jack-o'-lanterns all year long.
I like my resin trio skeleton guys that I made that you have when you sit over there.
Yeah, they're okay. They're not really Halloween themed. They're more,
they're orange.
Dead. But here's the thing, keep Halloween in your heart, people, because when summer rolls around, you get yourself one of those big juicy watermelons. After you're done eating all the meat inside, pull yourself a summer jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
It'll, we had 1, 2 last summer, maybe 3. We were making watermelon mead.
Yeah.
Kept them, put them out on the porch so the neighbor kids could see. Nobody destroyed them, so I figured people liked them.
Yeah.
Do it where you are. It's too late now. You guys missed it. It's not like the wallet moth where you can just steal it whenever you want. This is a summertime exclusive, that's for sure.
Furiously doing math.
Yeah, it's crazy because, light bulbs are incredibly cheap now. Remember when LED lights were like so expensive, and now they're at the dollar store. It's everywhere, people. Let's talk about Halloween-related stuff. Haven't seen... Well, I guess I saw it once. I saw the Garfield Halloween special once this month, which is a little light. I'm going to try and squeeze more in before the month is over. It's not officially Halloween yet, so we've got time. The clock is still ticking.
4 more days.
It's not a 4 more.
Huh.
Oh, and here's the thing, too. You're going to be... sorry, Angry Pomeranian. What kind of job does an Angry Pomeranian have? But here's the thing. I realize now that I was like, hey, I'll put that post on YouTube, a community post, and then, bam. But the camera is in a completely different spot, so you're not going to see Ryan Maxwell's name up in lights. But trust me, it's there still.
It's true.
It's there still, because I feel like his was the funniest answer. You had to go home and practice.
That's good chicken.
That's good. And he's right. But that's the thing. He's not going to... It's bread. So now that's good bread. It's a Subway. We don't work at a KFC.
Yeah, that's why I made my joke about I burned my hand in the bread sandwich fryer.
Right, but you're ineligible, number one, because you work on the show. So, hello, that's stinks of nepotism and corruption. So way to make us look like shills. On Halloween, the most sacred of holidays, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Jack-o'-lantern, died for our sins.
I have lots of jobs. Mainly, I'm a super secret YouTube creeper.
Super secret? Well, when you're so small, it's easy to get places.
Adorable.
All right, guys, here's the thing. This is probably the first show in a very long time that I was actually 100% prepared for. Feels pretty good. It took a whole week to set up. Basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you count when we started decorating, it's been like a month. But the fact that it all came together so quickly really tickles me pink. So, here's the thing. You're listening to White Bat Audio as well. I needed to tell you that because I use it all the time, and I feel like you should get credit. White Bat Audio, not Wipe That Audio, as some have speculated. I won't name names. Kayla.
Oops.
What's up, Julia? Just about getting ready to roll into the show proper. So, yeah, let me... You know how we do it. It's always clunky and it feels like going from first to third, but you're going to have to live through it. See you after this.
Dog. Cat. Mouse. Turtle.
I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life.
You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the island.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Dave, and this is a Fistful of Podcasts on Halloween from YouTube and etc. Welcome everybody. It's Friday. We're not going to do any true crime. We're doing some Halloween-related shenanigans, please. Also, you can see Krista, my co-host, producer, and everything is April O'Neil over there.
Hi.
Got my skeleton going on. So you can see all the stuff going on here. There's that angry little bulldog and that one of my many jack-o'-lanterns down there. We're drinking, if you can see them there, out of jack-o'-lantern glasses. We're having a nice roasted marshmallow meat. I didn't have any other candy, and since it's Halloween, I figured it'd be related. Let me get into something different really quick. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. I've got some stuff to tell you and some stories, I guess. One of disappointment. This is not Halloween related, but recently we just bottled up a bunch of stuff, and I was heartbroken because here's the story, right? We were at Target, and I see those big gallon jugs of like that really nice cloudy apple juice. They call it cider here. So I go, okay, let's make a hard one for, Christmas or whenever it's done. So we bring it home. It ferments beautifully. We throw a whole bunch of apples in it, and it's awesome. And here's the thing. I was going to have it be a Seagal cider, Steven Cider Gall, or something like that, because in my mind, it was a hard Target cider, a hard cider I got from Target. And I go, brilliant, it's Steven Seagal. Then I realized it was a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. Ruined the whole experience for me.
Yep.
So what I'm going to show you is a bottle of that. It came out, because when we bought it, it was cloudy as hell. So now it's called JCVC, Jean-Claude Van Cider, a hard Target cider. But still, I wanted it to be named after Seagal. I am dressed as a sailor, obviously. Everybody called me Popeye all day at work because this was like my lowest effort costume. It was either this or cowboy, and that's a layup, right? So I did the sailor. Also for you, Ryan Maxwell, if you're out there, it's a nice Popeye reference because I got to hear his name literally all day. It was a Halloween party.
I don't have an olive oil outfit to match, so April it is.
Yeah.
And I got these boots.
Here's the thing. The Casey costume, always a go-to and very cool. Masks make everything a real pain in the ass. Unless I was going to go with a Jason Voorhees, Camp Crystal Lake Starbucks-ish barista. Then I have to go and get an apron and stuff. So I'm like, no, you know what?
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. I was going to go with just a regular Jason, but I couldn't find my Jason pants. It's always the way. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to be watching, not obviously, you don't know this maybe. We're going to be watching some Halloween commercials, obviously, to get into the mood of Halloween, maybe stopping and telling a bunch of stories in the middle of it. But I will also have to be getting up and down a lot because my producer is sitting over here instead of where she should be, in the kitchen. Am I right, gentlemen?
Doing spreadsheets. Wife spreadsheets.
They're worksheets.
No, you said spreadsheets.
You said spreadsheets. I said worksheets. Woo! People can't hear me even, probably.
We're arguing if you can't hear us. David.
Fighting! All right, so buckle up, people, because we've got some, it's vintage stuff, so it's going to be super low res, so you can leave a lot of it to your imagination, I imagine.
Night madness sale. Get there by midnight before the curtain falls.
I miss Circuit City.
Trick or trick forever.
Smell my feet.
They won't let us go.
Give us something good to eat.
You kidnapped the poor missing
We're arguing if you can't hear us. What are you doing if we can hear you?
You can't hear us. Nothing is happening. And keep your mouth shut.
But beware, you're in for the one and only scare.
Make them one of us.
I remember that episode of Goosebumps, and it was like a two-parter, I think, and it was one that was legitimately scary. Much like, here's the thing, I'll draw a correlation to the Ninja Turtles because everybody loves those. But like the first, mini arc, first season, let's call it, I think it's less than 10 episodes. Like the animation is stellar. You know, they really threw every bit of talent and energy into it, like the Rock Warriors and Dimension X and like the hot rodding teenagers and stuff. And like all the animation is great. There's some weird color problems with their headbands and stuff. Moral story is it just kind of floated off after it became popular. It's like, who cares? Especially by the like season 10. But Goosebumps was like that. The first one, I think, was The Haunted Mask. That was the first one they like released, and like the production value was through the roof, and like as it got older and older, it just felt like, I don't know, Are You Afraid of the Dark never had a fall off like Goosebumps did, but by then it was too hilarious to not watch.
And Jameson says, treat, smell my feet, better not have homeless feet.
Well, I don't have homeless feet, LOL.
101.
101.
Howdy, folks. Here's what's just off the truck at Big Lots. Wow.
Halloween's just around the corner, so pick up these spooky fright frames. Just walk past them and creepy. And
it'll annoy everybody who walks around. Let me see if I can.
With these assorted 20 sculpture lights. Your choice, just $4.99 at Big Lots.
One day it's this, one day it's that, but every day it's the price. Wow.
I thought he was shirtless for a second, and it was like a tattoo on his chest.
Typically what Big Lots employees do, but like that's the problem with Big Lots is they have that goodwill like business model where it's like, hey, show up and whatever we have you can pick through, you fucking garbage people. And I go, yeah, I'll take you up on that offer. But like if it's a retail store, even if you're getting big lots of stuff so you can sell them off cheaper than usual, it's still more expensive than you'd want to pay for something that,
yeah, that's true.
it's like the old pick and saves or whatever. I mean, if I'm going to pick and save, it's going to be at a thrift store, because then like you're literally, I mean, picking through garbage mostly. But I don't know, when you find something new and you go, did I really need this? Or was it worth $6? Typically not.
C&J Dev says the Big Lots character looked like a reject from Arthur.
Kinda, yeah. Like it was one of DW's like imaginary friends that lasted one episode.
There's nothing under the bed.
I want something.
There's so much light in here. I'll leave the camera down there.
Fluffy. You got scared by a dumb cat. I wasn't scared.
You know it's a high quality store when they stick the price tag right on the product. Man, can I tell you, when it comes to that stuff, I get so frustrated when Goodwill puts the price tag on like the glass bottles.
Two things about Goodwill related to this, because they will stick stickers where they shouldn't go, and obviously if you are a human with compassion and thinking about the next person in front of you, but by and large they'll also have like an almost impossible to remove wax insignia, possibly several times over on it. I go, are they both necessary? Like, I bought a camcorder, like a VHS camcorder I'm about to get like a battery for, but it's like they drew on crayon on the camcorder itself, all of the batteries, like the nylon case that's now rotting away has a big rotten crayon P on it. And I go, why the fuck? Like the price tag was there. Like, were you afraid that someone would look at this and be like, there's no crayon on it?
Goodwill likes putting stickers on glass, and it takes forever to remove the residue. Yeah, we get bottles. Like, we find so many of our bottles for our meads at Goodwill because, like, why not?
And here's the thing about stickers. There's a billion stickers out there that peel away from products so easily.
Yeah, like those tag sale stickers. yard sale, garage sale, whatever you call them, wherever you live. The little circle ones, you just boop, they peel right off.
Yeah, whatever. Goodwill hates their customers, I feel.
There's nothing under the bed.
Oh, I do enjoy an evening with a little light entertainment. But when your video heads get dirty, you lose your picture.
Kitty, Connecticut. I disagree, kind of. Goodwill stickers soak off glass almost instantly with just water.
I don't know, man. We use a big old thing of Star Sand to get some of these things off. And the stickers aren't the bad part. It's the glue. And maybe if you don't live in a hot climate, this isn't a problem. But if you live where we live, that stuff will melt super easy in the car or wherever, or in the warehouse. Whatever. I mean, we don't need to get into the minutia of Goodwill stickers.
Let's talk about Goodwill.
But whatever. Here's the thing. Most people are just ripping things open and sticking it in their pockets or pulling the price tag off and sticking it on something else anyway. Make it not a pain in the ass to go there. I mean, here's the thing, Goodwill. You're getting free money because everything you have is donated to you and everyone on the staff is getting paid dick. Go easy on the fucking stickers.
It actually cleans your heads as it plays. So dirty
Man says
heads
cool
need
adverts. I wish
polish.
they were like this still.
Right. Polaroid video cassettes. Get the picture?
Polaroid video cassette.
Because that commercial took staging and props and stuff. Bad breath. Oh, no, he's got a Coke.
Mm-hmm. He feels better now. He didn't need a Snickers. He just needed Coke.
Is that one of the Baldwins? That looks like Billy Baldwin.
Scary Busey.
Wow. That looks like The Shadow starring 1994's Alec Baldwin. I was just drinking a Coke over there, ironically enough. Was there a difference?
Vampires, ghosts, werewolves, and zombies. Your donuts are ready.
Donuts.
Halloween is I don't understand why Halloween isn't more popular, right? Because people are butt-ass crazy in love with the flavor of pumpkin for some reason. And it's you get to do basically the same thing you do already, Dunkin' Donuts. But instead of pink and yellow and blue, just be orange and brown and black frosting. You have to change 0 and you'll appeal to every knucklehead like me who loves a gimmick around Halloween.
I sent David a recipe for a hard pumpkin apple cider. I'm not allowed to make it.
Gross. That. You pumpkin weirdos are so weird.
As Halloween approaches, you have to prepare
You must have been hypoglycemic. You just needed a Coke.
Or you needed to drink someone who just had a Coke.
It's a special
there he is,
time
making the
of year,
donuts.
and Dunkin' Donuts is dressing up their donuts
Break
for
your
the
tooth,
occasion.
hard candy
And here's the
head.
werewolf. So come to Dunkin' Donuts and get into the spirit of Halloween.
God damn, I love Halloween.
We'd like some Halloween donuts, please.
No.
Oh, of course.
They're not free. Do you have money?
Here's the thing. I often complain every Halloween about the crappy stuff you get, the pennies or whatever, or Burger King bucks or McDonald's. I get a Big Mac coupon or whatever. The one exception that proves the rule was the Dunkin' Donuts coupon.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you get a coupon to something you actually like, it's whoa. But McDonald's and Burger King, there's a dime a dozen. It's gutter trash. We get that every day.
I used to use those Dunkin' Donuts coupons all the time at my old, because I used to work right next to a D&D, and we'd get the books of the coupons.
For Halloween? Stay on topic.
Yeah.
No. You get a whole book? You walk in and you say, I'll take a book?
I'll take a whole book.
You have to buy those things. But that's the great thing about it. It was something that was actually sweet. Maybe that's it. That was the pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. You were getting a hamburger. What's a Halloween hamburger, right? A Halloween donut, at least it is sweet. And you're probably going to get a Wolfman Guga on it to break a tooth on.
Meh. Pumpkin and donuts and muffins are meh. C&J Dev.
I'm saying everybody is like crazy for pumpkin. I don't think it's pumpkin you like. I think it's like the warm spices of the holiday. And that, like, you know, since we have a fuck ton of pumpkins,
it all comes together. Pumpkin pie. I love pumpkin pie.
Right. But here's the thing. If pumpkin pie wasn't married to like cinnamon and nutmeg and everything that's already like in like eggnog or sweet potatoes or whatever, it'd be like whoop-de shit. You have to really bend over backwards to make pumpkin edible.
Debatable.
No, it's not debatable.
Kitty says fall is orange cranberry muffin season. I've never had an orange cranberry.
See, here in Arizona, one of our 5 C's is citrus, so it's not a seasonal thing. It's just like citrus all year round. But I can see Christmas doesn't have a lot of bright flavors, right? It's a lot of heavy gravies and stuff, and like the spices, like in the pumpkin latte. There's not a lot of like bright cranberry or orange dishes.
I try, well, yeah, not a dish necessarily,
really.
But like around the holidays, I always try and put now like a simmer pot on that has cranberries and orange and stuff to make it smell nice and bright. But those
still have like a heaviness to them, like there'll be cloves and that sort of stuff. There's nothing around the like summertime is the time for lightness and raspberries. We all get very heavy around the holidays.
Allison Marie Armstrong is here, and she says, "You two look amazing."
What up, Sailor Dervis here?
Pumpkin pie is more a Thanksgiving thing. So I was born on Thanksgiving, so pumpkin pie has always been a thing because I love it, and my mom always makes it and a birthday cake and.
Well, I'm not going to say you can't like it. I'm just saying fucking chill out about it.
I can't make a cider.
God damn.
I love it.
So I hear about it, see it, smell it, that kind of stuff.
It's not allowed in the house.
Hard Target Cider, JCVC.
At Target, we have everything you need for Halloween, including decorations that can turn any house into a haunted house and a frighteningly large selection of candy.
That we put out in April for October.
It's wild. So Target has this bizarre, or at least all the ones we go to have this bizarre strategy for Halloween. And it happens every year. Like in September, like they'll clear out that big section where like they have the seasonal shit, like the summertime shit or whatever. It's the part of the store that changes all the time. And it'll be mostly empty. Like 3/4 of the aisles will be barren. Like it's like Russia circa 1990, right? We're back in the USSR and we're struggling for every vaporwave tarantula and golden skeleton. And then it hits its crest like about a week ago when like there's the most product, the prices have not been cut yet, and it's like the best time to like go. But like the rest of the time you're like, why am I here? This feels like the Soviet Union. And then like, I don't know, probably 3 days ago is when they start going, get it all out of here. And so now we're back to like barren wasteland,
shells,
like
30% off.
Yeah, one broken skeleton. They've slashed the prices 30%, and you're like, if you're not gonna like, you know, man up to the plate and put your balls on the counter, let's not even do it. Or give it, instead of 8 aisles, give it 6, give it 4, keep them full.
Do you know when this was? We don't know when the commercials were. Oh, 90s, 80s, and 70s Halloween.
Yeah, it's 3 decades, so I'm not sure when we're seeing this specifically.
But yeah, Kitty was like, wow, what year was this from? We didn't have a Target until like 2005. Yeah, Connecticut took a long-ass time to get a Target.
Here, we can talk about Target and Walmart and the various ethical and moral entanglements thereof, but not today. Not on Halloween special night.
Hamburger Helper is here. Hi, better late than never.
Welcome.
I can't see the two of you well. What is Dave? A disco sailor?
Oh, I might be pretty small. Disco sailor. Hey, that's close enough. Hold on, let me swap things.
Blow us up, Tom.
Is that Thomas O'Malley?
No.
Thomas O'Houlihan?
No, I was just saying blow me up, Tom, like...
Oh, blow me up, Tom, like Tom Likas. Classic.
I try to make a joke, you guys. And this guy is like, oh, is Thomas here? I only care about him.
Well, because you said something about Tom, and you
blow us up, Tom.
Here's the thing: if you made jokes, I would go, "Hey, I recognize that pattern, right?" If you said "blow me up, Tom," literally ever before, right now, I would have been like, "Oh, it's a joke," but that never happens. So when it does happen once in a blue moon, you go, "Hello." I go, "What?" It's never happened before, guys. I mean, you watch the show. How often does she say "blow me up, Tom" versus how often I say it? I'm always like, "Blow me up, Tom." You guys.
Mummies everywhere, all rushing to Carvel.
Going on dates and I'm porking butts. I'm Tom Likas.
Oh, a hippie sailor.
For the new Halloween ice cream cake.
I guess.
Just $9.99. Have your mummy pick up some new.
Is this Dairy Queen or Carvel? I wasn't paying attention. There we go.
It's Carvel.
I grew up in the Dairy Queen part of the country, not the Carvel part. But Carvel seems so much more fun.
We only went to Dairy Queen. But, like, I've been to Carvel before. Like, I've had their, the stupid shaped cakes for birthdays. But we only ever went to Dairy Queen or Baskin Robbins.
Well, I don't think... Maybe, again, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Dairy Queen had a bunch of stuff that was like for everyday use, whereas like Carvel, I just knew them as ice cream cakes.
Yeah, they're ice cream cakes.
If you were unadventurous, you were one of those dill weeds who got the dilly bar, ironically. If you were, a little more daring, you get like a peanut butter parfait, or like when cookie dough hit the scene, it blew up. But like, I had so many friends who were just like, "I'll take a dilly bar." And I go, "What's that?"
I don't know what that is.
So it's just a vanilla disc, like dipped in chocolate. It's a dipped cone, but on a stick. And I go, "That?" I go, "And cookie dough exists. Are you stupid?" I would say to them. I lost a lot of friends.
CNJ Dev, I'm April O'Neil. Kitty used to work at Carvel.
Oh, really? Did you make the cakes? I always wondered.
Hamburger says, "I so wanted to try DQ, but none in New York City."
It's not that great. Like, here's the thing. It's like every other fast food thing. So everything that made it good in the beginning has been homogenized. Like the ice cream, just like every other McDonald's or Burger King or whatever, just comes in a big bag and they throw it in a, it's like Olive Garden. Allison knows. Ask Allison about Olive Garden and you'll basically get an idea of every fast food or, mild sit-down restaurant.
This Halloween, he's coming with something they never
Kitty made the cakes and the hard ice cream.
Simply roll out Pillsbury sugar cookies.
And the hard ice cream. Were you always rolling out of bed going, "Gotta make the cakes," like the donut guy? I hope so.
Then create your own deliciously spooky
Probably sue you if you did, though.
Goddamn fucking Olive Garden. No, don't ask me. Not tonight.
Glorious day and a complete breakfast with
Tasty Freeze milkshakes are awesome, says Kayla. I love
I'm a
milkshakes.
Tasty Freeze.
I've never either.
and blueberry with berry flavored sweeties.
And here are the many.
Is it funny that like they're starting? Okay, I don't know. I guess whatever. This is just one of those weird things. But like some things you go, did that need change? Like they added a goth girl to that cereal lineup present day. Like she's a zombie or whatever. So it's like, I don't know. Cereal mascots shouldn't be like cool, I don't think. Cause like I don't know. I'm torn because you got the two hands of the same person.
Carmela, says Kitty.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. But like you have mascots who are like ultra competent and those that are shit heels. Trix Rabbit is a shit heel, never gets his tricks.
Right.
I would say the Lucky Charms Leprechaun is a shit heel because he's always getting his food stolen. Whereas like the Smacks, like Dig 'em the Smacks, Sugar Smacks Frog, and like Toucan Sam were ultra competent, and like Tony the Tiger was like the Tony Robbins of them all. I don't know. The ultra competent ones never felt very. I don't know. I wanted to be emotionally connected to them, but like I wasn't a Toucan Sam. Like I wasn't the cool guy who always worked it out in the end and got the Fruit Loops.
Hello, Maxwell English.
Sup, Maxwell English? Welcome to the Halloween special.
Kale says, what do you mean cereal mascot shouldn't be cool? I've modeled my life after Sonny and Cocoa Puffs.
And he's right there in the middle, right? Because when he doesn't have Cocoa Puffs, he's totally fine. But then he goes cuckoo for him, and he becomes a shitheel. He's like the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Shitheel of the cereal mascot world, right?
Hamburger's generation of cereal mascots were goofy, except Tony the Tiger, who was super cool. Yeah.
Depending on where you were in time, yeah, because you can even see it. Like the mascots for Cinnamon Toast Crunch, if you cut that franchise in half, they're like the rings of a tree because they were ultra serious bakers. And eventually Wendell went insane and like had a bunch of morphological changes and killed the two other bakers. And went literally insane. Like these two guys are hanging out.
Nasty weather got you little monsters uptight.
Don't you guys live for that shit?
Blockbuster night.
Oh yeah.
Make it a blockbuster night.
And P.S. During the rainstorm, you sent out the guy who's gonna come back smelling like wet dog.
Everyone.
Well, that turned dark.
Settle down to enjoy Blockbuster. I just love a family night. If the weather's a fright, make it a Blockbuster night.
It's cute, but
this
sitting
Halloween,
that close on the couch is uncomfortable.
On genuine Kodak film from Thrifty. Whether it's print, slide, or movie film, Kodak is the choice of professionals.
Thrifty.
Thrifty carries a full line of Kodak film, including C12620.
Craziest thing about Kodak is they were like, I think literally the first one to develop a digital camera. And they were like, we don't see a future in this. Fujifilm still exists. And they have film in their name. They have an outdated mode of media capture in their name, and Kodak couldn't make it. Polaroid, still around, although they've changed hands about a zillion times.
Fujifilm just built a giant warehouse.
Right, because they diversified. Here's the thing. Let me tell you a quick story, too. Right by my new job is a Nikon campus or something. It's like a Nikon Precision something or other. And I go, oh, whoa. If this is a Nikon dealer / servicer, that'd be super convenient. So I look it up. And no, it's one of their diversified companies. They do imaging for business stuff or for medical stuff, but like they do high res images or other imaging chips that don't go in cameras. Like, oh, what a kick in the dick. You get to see Nikon every day on the building. It's not tailored to me at all.
Hamburger never found Elvira funny when she was a kid.
36 exposure.
I don't think people found her funny. I think that
I don't find anything about her. Anything.
Well, because you're not...
I'm not a...
Right, here's the thing. I watched I didn't know who Elvira was, and one of her, because I think she had one or two movies that got made when people were getting movies made. I watched the whole movie, and it wasn't because I was laughing or because I was scared. It was for two reasons that still are going strong to this day. She's like 70.
Exposure slide film and Super 8 movie film. Remember, the sharper you want your
LOL,
memories,
kick in the dick. You guys are a whole sitcom. This is Maxwell.
Hey, pretty funny movie, huh?
What are you, a nut? This is scary.
Scary? This isn't scary. If you want horror, you gotta go with the classics. Dracula.
This dude is a classic, 90s commercial dude. He's one of those, you see those character actors in movies all the time? I know this dude's face because it's burned into my brain. He's just a face to me.
Frankenstein, the Wolf Man. Ooh, spooky, huh?
Oh, they're cool. I could send one to my
But
mother.
wasn't she supposed to be funny? She used to do those intros for bad horror movies or something.
Right, she was a horror host, so I guess you could put her in the same bucket as Svengoolie or Joe Bob Briggs or whatever. I don't think those people are meant to be funny. Maybe that's what they're trying to do, but they always feel a little bit but Joe Bob Briggs, he at least brought some interesting stuff and had some comedy in it. But mostly what those people were there for is to be bumpers for when they edit for the TV version, they have to cut a bunch of shit out. So you were
The
filling
commercial
time,
fillers.
or you were ideally giving background or hopefully being funny. But I mean, Elvira had 2 huge jugs. Like no one was like, "Oh, whoa!" I'm tuning in because I'm super interested. And P.S. I subscribe to Playboy for the articles, right? Like I'm searching internet porn sites for articles to this day. I swear to God.
You can mail these. These are special editions.
He's the 90s version of Flo from Progressive.
Special edition stamps now at the post office. Some stamps you just can't lick.
You know, not for nothing. Shout out to the post office and to our local museum, because there was a not too long ago, maybe 3 years ago, there was a dinosaur, like a new tyrannosaur for this part of the country was found and described, and there was some stamps going on. So yeah, like I've got them. Pretty radical.
Totally have them.
But again, stamps are like, what? Everything I send through the mail these days goes through a machine that just like prints on something.
Ink.
Yeah, like what? But you know, if you're a philatelist, it's nice to know that you still have a hobby for you.
Konami's Castlevania The Adventure for Nintendo Game Boy. The maze of vampire crypts and unearthly evils. It is about to sink its fangs into you.
You won't be scared, but you'll be annoyed.
Give me something good to eat.
Happy Halloween! Fox Kids invite you to celebrate with us Animaniacs as we host 3 days of kooky spooky fun.
The snaps start Friday with the spectacular special.
Rude's Mystery Castle.
Fantastic fun continues with some all-new terrific Halloween adventures.
Excellent! It's Monstrous Mayhem Saturday morning.
And a ghoulishly good time Halloween day.
So don't be a Halloween.
Watch Fox Kids Halloween.
Starting Friday.
Now that everything is online and like Netflix and Hulu and everything are everybody's go-to, there's no marketing for like big holiday stuff. Maybe that's why Halloween has been struggling, at least in modern times. Because like back in the 90s or whatever, at least up until the 90s, you know, again, Roseanne and Home Improvement and all those sitcoms were like really nailing it in the Halloween department.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I used to watch those two, especially.
Yeah, but now it's like with no schedule, like everything is just either released as a season or maybe they'll release it one at a time in like a weekly fashion. There's no build up to stuff anymore. I remember being excited that they would show commercials for the Garfield Halloween special because, again, it wasn't like you could just, like I can do now, just pull it up whenever and be like, it's Halloween in April. And, you know, as an adult, it kind of feels nice to have that Arrested Development moment. But then again, it's like the sweetness of the treat was because you had to wait for it a little bit.
Right, because then you could just, if you can do everything whenever you want, then again, it's old. Or it can get old. I'm sure the Halloween Garfield special wouldn't get old for you, but
it not necessarily get old, but when it's not artificially, what you call it, like artificially limited, like they say, we're gonna put it on. Even if they put it on like 3 times a day for a month, you know you've got a very limited time frame, a year to do something.
Right.
But now I can enjoy Halloween atmosphere all the time whenever I want, which is a double-edged sword because it's nice, but it's also like now I don't have to wait. It's that instant gratification, which takes the bloom off the rose a little faster.
yes. Hello, Cat G.
What's up, Cat G?
Welcome.
Children at the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, inviting you to a scream fest.
It's microwaved entertainment.
Disney Channel.
Catch the witching hour with Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker in Hocus Pocus.
Speaking of that, right? I like making nachos in the oven, and it takes a fuck of a long time, but it's the right way to do it. Right, guys? This was, you know, there are some things you do because the anticipation builds, and by the time the thing happens, you go, it was worth it. But if at the end of 30 seconds or 45 seconds, you can go, well, it's done enough.
I microwave my nachos because it's almost instant gratification.
You guys, I can't with this.
Trick or treat.
Go bobbing for geeks and goblins.
Okay. Hamburger. Okay, what's going on here?
Good time with Scooby-Doo.
Jameson says, yeah, you can stream A Christmas Story anytime. Then who cares about the all-day TNT marathon. Right.
Right. But
And go trick-or-treating.
I mean, also here's the thing too, because when cable got big enough, there were channels like, I don't know, I can't even think of their names. There were so many, but like there would be 8 hours worth of SVU episodes broken into like 2-hour chunks throughout a day. Or like, it was nice to have channels that had I don't know, it's kind of like watching Pluto TV where you can watch Supermarket Sweep. I can go to Hulu and watch whatever episode I want whenever, but it's nice to have that sort of roulette effect that you don't know what's coming up next and you don't have control over it and you can't skip the commercials. You just have to accept the reality of it, and it feels nice to just be pulled along a ride instead of being like, hurry all the time, right?
Yeah. Hamburger makes a good point.
I'll be the judge of that.
About like the other way, like you can watch Netflix and it's not constant Christmas crap. Like, you know, in December, all it's on cable is Christmas themed things, and now you can go to Netflix or Hulu and watch things that are not Christmas related or whatever holiday.
But I think that's part of it, love or hate it, right? It's, even if you hate Christmas or hate whatever time of year that all the stuff around, you know, the patterns of our life form, it's regularity. We don't necessarily need to hate something. We just need something stable and regular. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's nice to like have media sources that you don't have to hear Mariah Carey or Christmas stuff all the time. However, it does build up it, like that's the root of nostalgia, right? Like if you are young and everything is Christmas and annoying, when you're older you go, oh boy, I remember when everything was Christmas and annoying, and now that I've got a family of my own, blah blah blah, and you fill in the gaps. There's no pattern for that now, so you just access it whenever. So there's no, it's not like the changing of the seasons, right? You know, the leaves are going to change color, maybe where you live there'll be snow, and it's because of the time of year.
Right. It's the feeling of hearing a song on the radio that you like.
Right. It just needs to come up randomly. When you can cater your own existence and you remove variety and surprise. Right. Like, because there's a thing. Like, I wouldn't watch a bunch of the episodes of The Simpsons I didn't necessarily love, but every Thursday you got 2, so you had to relish them both, even if one was a weak entry.
Yeah,
it made you appreciate things more, and sometimes you need that to look at things that don't necessarily, you know, because the things that appeal to you might not necessarily be the things that are most whatever. You know, you get what I'm saying.
Kitty doesn't own a microwave.
I don't even own a television set. I listen to everything on Victrola. That'd be hilarious, right? We're on the internet. I'm like, I don't even go to TV.
Excellent. We dare you to watch tonight at 7, 6 Central on the Disney Channel.
Don't watch it alone.
P.S. I can't believe the Renaissance Hocus Pocus had. Like, we are seeing everything I saw in the 90s but was totally confused about. When the wave of nostalgia of the 60s is crashing on the 90s, and I was like, who gives a shit? And now that, like, the 90s wave of nostalgia is crashing onto the 2020s, I go, all right, I get it.
Kitty's mom had a Victrola.
Beautiful stuff. I've got a, it's old enough to be, I think, solid state. There's no tubes in it, but a Sears fold-out record player. I'm not going to show you because it's a pain in the ass to lug around, but vintage 70s era stuff.
Yeah, we like to sometimes, I think we have, don't we have a Christmas record?
Yeah, that's the thing.
We'll put it out for Christmas.
We pull out the record player and the Christmas record for Christmas. I realize there's fucking Christmas music streaming all the goddamn time, but I own a finite 2-record Christmas set that I put into a record player, and the ritual is the thing. Hello?
We put a fireplace on YouTube on TV because we don't have a fireplace, even though I want one.
Sometimes I'll build a fake fireplace around a computer monitor, and it'll look
adorable.
Passable.
I love it. Christmas is my favorite holiday.
Halloween, people.
Has a Victrola in her living room.
Before they disappear.
There's more for your life at Sears.
R.I.P. Sears.
Maxwell English does the fireplace thing too.
How can you not?
I love it. I love hearing the wood crackling.
Right. When you were, before the internet, or I shouldn't say when you were, but before the internet, you had to go to Big Lots to buy, ironically, to buy one of those fake fireplaces with the roll of tinfoil that would spin in front of a yellow bulb and shine through a plastic sheet, right?
Oh. We had an actual fireplace at our house.
However you did it, like if you had a fake one or a real one, or you had like the facsimile or whatever, it's never been easier to like fool yourself into thinking that you have things, because you can turn your TV into basically anything. Like turn it into a fireplace, turn up the heat, and be like, oh boy,
oh boy.
Like you can hear the crackling of the Yule log, plus like piped in piano and violin Christmas music, or any number of Christmas music selections for fucking free year round.
Cat G's mom had an original Edison gramophone. It plays the cylinder records.
Does she still have the...
Her brother has it now and it still works.
Everybody beyond a certain age, because I grew up in a house where we had one of these, the old Singer sewing machines that you work by pedal. There's no motor involved.
Mm-hmm.
Not this Halloween. Nothing sets the
That's okay, Mac. I know what I'm throwing a bob in.
I don't. I stapled half of my sewing project together from home ec.
Pathetic.
I got a C. I made a pig.
Real quick, these are coming back too. The mask shirt combo, which goes to show like anything that's popular, if it can survive a sallow period, will come back. Case in point, Axl Rose. He looked like, a rock star, came back looking like someone who worked at a Dunkin' Donuts who had to wake up early to make the donuts. But nostalgia does wonders.
Costumes from $1.83
I heard
to
of
$3.99,
CDs, says
like
Maxwell.
Whoa, you're that old? Congratulations.
Kitty Goes Jesus' mom has a Singer too. Yeah, my mom has a Singer sewing machine from her.
I'm
her
so
mom, her
upset.
grandmother. I don't know.
Every family has like 10 sewing machines in it. And my grandmother made her own fucking clothes with a sewing machine that was state of the art back in the 80s. And I made a few things on it. And then I was like, you know what? I'll never want to do this again. And I got rid of it. And what a fucking mistake. Like, a sewing machine is one of those things like a bread maker where you get it. And like when you first get it, maybe you go crazy and you make a whole bunch of loaves or whatever as seen on TV bullshit you buy. But then when the craving comes back, you go, why did I get rid of that 900-pound machine? And you go, well, yeah, it was 900 pounds. You didn't give a fuck about it.
Holly Hoppy looks scary AF.
Yo, she's staring into your soul with those blank doll's eyes.
Hamburger says, I know my friend won one of those fake fire things where there was a fan and over that the strips of red and orange fabric. But get how she won that thing. She and her girlfriend had similar haircuts and they were at a trade show. She said, this is my sister and I'll make out with her in front of all of you all, and did.
For a fireplace of fake display?
You win something, like I'd make out with a girl to win something.
That's the thing about girls is like, you guys are like, oh, I'll make out for something $2.50 in value or greater. Whereas like, if I were going to lock lips with another dude, I would need like a year's supply of something, or like a bunch of hand tools or a new microphone or whatever. How great is it to be a girl? You can just kiss everybody you want. No one gives a shit. And I can't kiss a single boy without getting looked at weird.
I say that now that I would make out with somebody with another girl for something for free, but I've never kissed a girl before. I'm not Katy Perry.
Katy Perry, yeah.
Fun and easy. Make just one stop at Woolworth or Woolco.
I miss Woolworth. There was a Woolworth up in Globe. Maybe it was the last Woolworth in existence.
Woolworth.
But like up until maybe the early 2000s, probably the late 90s. Because my grandmother called it the dime store. So we're going to go to the dime store. I said, Grandma, it's 1993. Nothing costs a dime. It's like a dollar store now. They don't exist anymore.
Nope. $1.25.
Give me something good.
How about this for a treat? It's the Fox
You need
Kids
that
Beetleborgs
sewing machine in case you ever become a
Halloween
superhero.
Bash. You win the biggest, baddest Halloween party
What am I gonna do
ever
during the
with yours
montage?
truly and the Beetleborgs.
P.S. The Beetleborgs had like the shittiest, like the Power Rangers had Zordon, who was like a big light fountain, who like seemed to have credibility. He was like the Colonel Potter over the Colonel Blake, where like the big bad Beetleborgs had the Colonel Blake. It was like the Elvis alien with the big nose, and it's like, what are we doing here?
Maxwell English was born in 94.
Holy shit. You're a baby.
Loads of labyrinthine Beetleborgs prizes. You're also going trick-or-treating with me and the big bad Beetleborgs. 500 other kids will win Beetleborgs action figures. Stand or get a postcard with your name and address by October 16th, too. Fox Kids Beetleborgs Halloween Bash.
Let's
P.O.
send
Box
something to them.
1129, Los Angeles, 90078.
That was the same address every time Fox Kids ran a thing. It was the same address.
90078.
Party with your favorite monsters during Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, Florida. And right now, carve out savings of
Why
up to
do you people say
$16
baby?
off admission with this special coupon
So,
you'll find on Tubi.
Maxwell, I was born in 88. David was born in 83.
That's why.
That's why.
Here's the thing. You're going to have to be called baby by somebody. I feel old as fuck, and I've got gray hairs growing on my face and on my head. But I work with people who are 20 years my senior, and so they call me baby, and I don't feel like it. I've been wiping my ass for decades. You're just going to have to deal with it, dude.
Yep.
So Pepsi.
Have a Crystal Pepsi and forget about it.
Yep. Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios.
They still do Halloween
Hurry to
upright.
Ticketmaster today for advance tickets, while you can still slash the price.
Guess what? You're invited to the
Kayla says, I was voting before Maxwell was born.
Seriously, that's the thing. Is like everybody and I get it too, because I was going through school, I was the older kid, but now everywhere I go, I'm the youngest person on the block, basically. So it's weird to be called like a kid when you're in your 30s, 20s, 40s, 50s, whatever. But there's always going to be someone above you who goes like, oh, you young whippersnapper, or the equivalent. You go, well, where are the Werthers?
Hello, Kimmy Coco Bob.
That's a great name.
Happy Halloween.
Right, big man. 160 very lucky people will be
Is that because you live in Arizona?
Find this special can. It's in 12 packs.
Is what? Sorry.
I don't
What
know.
part?
Maybe because we're younger and people are all older than us because we live in Arizona. Snowbirds, maybe. I don't know. Being called a whippersnapper.
No, I feel like that's universal, right? Like anywhere you go, the generation above you is going to say how they had it better, and the generation beneath you is going to say how they have it better, and so you're always stuck in the middle of like things sucking.
Jameson says, you dress as a sailor, your male coworkers call you baby, and you want us to believe you've never kissed a dude.
They don't call me baby. Did I say that?
You said your coworkers call you baby. Call you a baby.
Oh, a baby.
They're
yeah.
all ladies.
Right, they're all old ladies, so they call me a baby. Or whatever. I mean, you'll get to that point when you get old enough that like everyone beneath you. And here's the thing: you'll get to some point in your life, God willing, if you're one of the normal people, where like you'll age into a spot in your life where you're at a job where like your boss is younger than you, and you go, "Whoa, that's fucked," because what's up with that, right? Age doesn't
Where
stop
should
for
I
anybody.
be? Yeah,
right.
It's my mom. Like she, she's been with this job since we moved here in 2011, and she's like, I can't never go anywhere else because like she's old.
What? It's just a weird thing. Like time passes for us all, and even though I don't feel any different than I did like in my 20s, I still have to reconcile the fact that I look old and am old.
I don't think you look old. Kimmy says these are vintage commercials way before my time. Kimmy's 18.
Oh, you poor young child.
And Maxwell English's boss is 24 and he's 28. So he...
Right, but that's the thing. If you're like still like young enough to be bros outside of work, it doesn't count.
Hamburger says, I used to be the youngest person in the room at my jobs. Now I'm the third oldest at my current company.
I think you'll like this house.
We all moved through that, and I wonder...
I'm the youngest in my department.
You won't be for long.
Oh, I know.
But, like, I wonder if... I don't know, because some people never grow up and they just don't call attention to it. Like, at my Halloween party at work today, I don't know anybody there. There's like 1 million people. And some old lady's like, I'm the oldest person. They call me mom and grandma. And I go like, it's weird, right? Like I can't, I still feel like I'm, I don't want to say like, I've experienced arrested development, but once you reach a certain level of maturity, you don't feel like that gets older. I don't feel like I'm slipping into like, oh, you know, don't show your midriff. Like, I still like sexy things and I still like stuff that normal people like. So I don't know if that's just I
still like sexy things.
Right. Like, so I'm not like, because it felt like when I was young, all of the old people were teetotalers and they were like, you know, showing midriff was like a term that, you know, was scandalizing everybody. If you could see someone's midriff when I was a young lad. I don't feel like I'm going to be one of those crusty old people who's like, where's your Brill cream or whatever? Right?
No, times have changed.
But times are always changing. So why was it that old people felt old and I don't feel old? I don't want to act old.
What is a midriff?
Are you fucking kidding me? Watch these commercials, you damn kids.
Guess who asked that question?
Isn't it supposed to be haunted? Haunted?
Someone who's never had a dress code check.
So, I mean, what would a ghost be doing here? Haunted.
I still go see rock bands, said Hamburger.
Soft drink delivers the real cola taste of 1-calorie Diet Coke, the real one. It's lifting more and more spirits.
We've only watched 15 minutes of these commercials because we're too busy talking.
How long have we been here?
Yeah, an hour.
Holy shit.
The movie's on to
I go see rock bands. I'm almost 50, says Hamburger.
Hey, you know, be whatever you want. Here's the thing. One of the other side of the blade of the internet that brought us like the destruction of like pattern recognition seasonally with our media, it did bring a sort of, how do you want to call it? Like, I don't know. When you exist online, it's easier to exist like agelessly. Do you know what I mean? Like if you met someone in real life and they looked old, you would treat them like an old person. But since almost all communication, even in my job, is done over text or through some app, it's just a person on the other side, and you're not constantly looking at their liver spots or their gray hair or whatever it happens to be. It's easier to exist as a person and not as like a generational weirdo, maybe?
Yeah, like if I never met my boss in person, I wouldn't like ageify him. Like I wouldn't know how old he was, but I've met him in person a couple times. Like he trained me a long time ago and stuff, so I know his family, like I know who he is.
You interact with them as an entity, not attached to a physical body necessarily. Like if you meet someone online, until you solidify them in real life, like, you know, for instance, moderator Kayla, every interaction I had with her up until when I met her, I could have been like, oh, it's just a 12-year-old girl. Like it's just a precocious 12-year-old girl online having fun and living life to the fullest or whatever.
It's just the internet.
Right, but it's how you present yourself versus how you are in real life. And sometimes those aren't like in wild contrast, but the real you typically comes out when there's no filters and you can be whatever.
Right. Yeah, because there's things.
That's not Halloween related. I'm sorry I went down that path.
Anyway.
We don't even talk about ages. I'm an old man.
I'll be 35 in a month.
Boo-hoo!
The ultimate show.
Buffy, no!
For the ultimate scare.
This is the first time I've been called Precocious 101.
Yeah, precocious as hell.
I didn't leave that.
Hamburger
open.
says, right, I don't feel like my boss is 10 years younger than me.
yourself.
I just feel like we are somewhere approximately the same age with the same amount of professional experience.
Right.
And that's what you, yeah.
Like, my boss is, I don't know his actual age. I'm going to say he's in his 30s. I've heard however old he is a million times because everybody talks about him. But let's say he's 37, right? And I look at him and I go, whoa, you look 47. And I may look bad, but at least I'm not. I don't know. You got to sort of soften the blow of like younger people getting ahead of you somehow, because, you know, we've got to put everybody on a ladder somewhere. It's just annoying when you get to an age where you suddenly become incongruous with reality. That'd just be me.
The internet and real life are two different things.
Yeah. No, it's just a question. It's just a question.
It's just a question. Yeah, let's get back to cereal mascots.
Just a man with a lot of keys.
I look 24 with a beard, says Maxwell.
Here's the thing. I keep the beard. I think it can make you look older. It probably does make me look older. However, if you have a huge nose like I do, you need an anchor for it. Because if you see a Christmas tree and all the bulk is at the top, you go, this is fucked. And that's my face. Like, I've got no jawline, no chin, but I've got this huge nose. So with a mustache to anchor it, you go, oh, there's what I should be looking at. And you forget that I've got a George Lucas jaw.
I met David in 2011.
I can confirm.
And he did not have a beard. He has gone through a lot of changes with his face and hair.
Days.
It was dark days.
But that's the thing. Until you sort of get there as a person who can grow a beard, if you have a big nose, you'll realize that a mustache really softens the blow. But it'll also work with a huge Adam's apple, too. Any huge feature on your face, a beard will take care of.
Hamburger says, I know a guy who sort of looks like you, Dave, and he said the same thing about why he needs facial hair, too.
He's got a big nose, right? You need an anchor. Because if I had a big jaw, like a Bruce Campbell style jaw, no problem. A big nose is no big deal because you have the structure of the foundation to support what's above it. But when your face looks like one of those plague doctor masks, you need something to round out the, I mean, come on. It's basic geometry.
Goosebumps, terror in the graveyard game. Collect spells, avoid hidden traps. Find the magic ring, defeat the headless ghost.
Remember any of that from Goosebumps?
Goosebumps, terror in the graveyard game.
So tiny.
There was a 2-part book. I think it was like Horrorland or Welcome to Horrorland. It was like where these two kids were stuck in a haunted theme park or whatever. Not bad. But the one that really stuck with me wasn't even, I think it was a Fear Street novel. It was called The Beast. It was about a roller coaster that these two kids rode, and like the roller coaster was like built in like the early 1900s. And these two kids rode it and went back in time and had to like face shit, and there was a ghost involved. But like, I don't know. The point I'm getting at is like R.L. Stine's books were wild in variation and quality because, and I didn't know this as a child, like as a child, you just think that one company makes movies. So you watch movies made by some company that makes movies.
Someone, yep.
I felt like that with R.L. Stine books because I go, oh, well, R.L. Stine's name is all of them. I didn't know he was like a James Patterson where there was like 6 to a dozen underlings cranking out anywhere from fair to mid garbage.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. And I never, like, I didn't know movie company names until like basically I met you, because I never watched movies with any kind of intent of remembering them.
If you don't get into something deep enough, you won't know the minutia. And like, but that's the thing. As a kid, you just go, because TV was separated into channels. So you go, okay, each channel was basically responsible for their own programming. But when you go to the movies, that felt like a totally separate thing. So there was probably just one company making movies, and it never felt like when I was a kid there was a bad movie or a good movie. There were just movies.
Oh yeah. And I only ever watched movies that my parents would watch, so it was all just
stuff
that I didn't keep in my memory bank.
Well, that's probably why I have so much fondness for like 9 to 5 and Noise is Off. Because again, when media is scarce and limited to what you can physically possess, you cherish every second of it. But when every ounce of anything that's ever been recorded is at your fingertips whenever you want, and all you have to do is just type in a bunch of random search terms. I mean, I probably wouldn't be as big a appreciator of Christopher Reeves and John Ritter if I hadn't watched Noise is Off 14 zillion times. Also, Michael Caine.
James says, yeah, you'd be watching Infinity Wars asking, where's Batman?
Right. You'd be like, hello.
It all just blends together.
Or I'd be one of those idiots standing in line at like the premiere of Titanic who was disappointed that someone in line spoiled the fact that like the boat sinks.
Yeah, like I'll be honest, growing up, I don't remember watching movies with my parents. I don't remember literally anything about my childhood, especially that. And as far as I know from hearing from my mother, my dad likes to watch Steven Seagal movies and like Chuck Norris bullshit and stuff like that. I don't remember ever seeing that on TV. So they must have watched it when I went to bed.
Or you just don't or you don't care, because like when I was growing up, my dad was reading Star Trek novels, and I remember seeing them. I remember them being a prop in my life and like the grand setting of my existence. But I never saw them like open one and read it. Yeah, so it had to happen sometime though, right?
I don't even recall like having DVDs in our house. I remember our VHS tapes of all our Disney movies. I don't remember any like DVDs.
If you've been alive for longer than 20 years, you'll probably have experienced that though. Like
we had CD racks.
The transition of media.
Yeah.
I've saw it a bunch of different ways because I went from VHS to DVD to Blu-ray, and then they have that little blip of like HD DVD. But like, if you're into computers, you saw floppies rise and fall, and CDs, and then thumb drives and zip drives, and etc.
My cousins had all of the computer variations of things. They also like, they grew up without cable. They didn't like, all they had were like the basic channels, the prime stations or whatever, and they had only like a certain number of hours they could play video games. That was it. And so I never got any of that either, really.
Because here's the thing. Art and or whatever you want, bar none, is going to thrive in like a leaner situation. Whether you're a lab rat and you're receiving 40% less rations than other control rats, or you're a kid whose only access to cable is going over to your grandmother's house for a sleepover on the weekend.
And that's the thing. When my cousins would come over to our house, we had cable, they didn't. They would be glued to that TV, and you couldn't even you could put your hand in their front of their face. Like they did not react to anybody else.
That's how I was when I went to my grandmother's house, because she had cable. So, Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon were unfettered access, and plus all the drumsticks in the freezer. But I don't. That's the thing. We don't have that culturally anymore, because there's no such thing as being too poor for Netflix.
Right. And
because there are phone plans that'll throw Hulu in or whatever. So there's no forced. That's the thing I was looking for earlier. Forced scarcity.
Right. And even our son, he's going to be 5. He's got a tablet that has YouTube Kids on it. So he can, as long as it's under, PG, he can probably find whatever he wants once he learns how to type.
Yeah. Somehow he found out all of the names of the Paw Patrol crew
before we even knew their names.
Right. And that's the thing is it's a double-edged sword, because now if you're super into something, there's nothing keeping you from getting deeper into it than would be available literally ever. But there's also the potential to burn you out so fast on it, especially me. Like, I'm not stuck with a hobby other than like this sort of thing for more than like 3 years.
Yeah.
But I want to say,
but you come back to a lot of things,
right? But there are those people who become experts or whatever you want to call them in certain fields or hobbies. They get super good at something. Like, I'll get to say at the end of all of this, like, I'm mediocre at best at like purlers and knitting and cross stitching and homebrewing and a bunch of other shit. Whereas most people can knuckle down and really focus on one thing. I don't know what's better. Having a bunch of shit that you can mediocrely bullshit your way through, or being like a hyper expert at something and like impressing everybody. Like whipping out the fact that you can juggle literally anything. And not that that'll happen.
Well, no, I think like honing in on one thing is great, but you have to. But if you have experience in a lot of things, you can give a lot of people your advice on certain things as opposed to just one thing.
Right, but then you have like the concept that maybe everyone should be familiar with. Like when you start into a field and you start to gain knowledge, your confidence goes up in disproportionate ratio to your skill, and then it evens out somewhere in the middle. Like I have the ability to, like, since I have a wide breadth but not a very deep pool of knowledge, at a party I can bullshit my way through any conversation. However, if somebody wants to have a deep back and forth about literally anything, I'll have to tap out very soon unless it's something that really sticks. And a lot of people have that over me where I go, oh, I'll talk to you about this for about 15 minutes and then be like, oh, look at my drink, it's almost empty. Glug, see you later.
King's Chuck Norris Van Damme films. Yeah.
Hard Target, we talked about it earlier.
Yep.
P.S. For a Halloween costume, you couldn't have like licensed the Monster Mash? You go with this?
Quaker granola dips, a hauntingly wholesome Halloween treat. Chewy granola dipped in real milk chocolate.
I mean, you guys know obviously how scary the Beach Boys are because they were a horror themed band.
Terrifying.
And so when you're hearing Bop Aran, spooky.
Jameson's grandparents had that cable box where you had to walk up and turn a knob to change the channel.
Oh, a knob on a cable box? That beats me.
Woolworth and Woolco to get set for Halloween. There's costumes of TV favorites.
Thanks, Woolworth.
And the Hulk. There's popular characters
They're
from
terrifying
Star Wars.
costumes.
You know how Darth Vader wears a picture of himself?
Batman, Superman, and many more.
Superman has short sleeves.
$2.38 to $4.17.
Adjust for inflation, though.
Which is wrapped candy of
$76.
all at the favorite Halloween haunts.
I mean, here's the thing. When you're at that nexus of life, and it happens for a very short period, where, like, you have money and, like, Walgreens exists, and, like, the day after Halloween when candy is super cheap and you're a junk food addict, like, holy shit. I cannot tell you how many pounds of gummy bears I bought on post-Halloween sales. Unbelievable.
I never did that. I
was a huge fan of Heidi gummy bears, so I had no choice.
Listen, I love Reese's. Like, I love all the things chocolate and candy, but I never
It's a different love. A gummy love is different than a chocolate love. All you fucking weirdos out there who love chocolate and peanut butter, whatever. A fruit-flavored love is so much deeper because it existed
I like
so
gummy
much
bears
longer.
too, but I never went to a store after Halloween to buy all their discounted candy.
And that's why you're a
monster.
Woolworth and Woolco.
Gosh, Burger Chef, it's Wolfburger the werewolf.
Wolf Burger.
Where can I get fun?
Not Wereburger.
Where? Oh, where? At Burger Chef. Where?
And now
Dude, you're here.
Burger Chefs, you can
Where?
buy fun meals that now come on Halloween magic meal trays. There's a magic trick in each.
It's times like this when my resolve is at its weakest, right? And I'm sure you've all been there before, and we'll do it again. But like when you're, I don't know, let's say 7/8 of the way through a glass of something or whatever it takes you to get there, and you go, you know, my standards have slipped so far, I could eat 2 Jack in the Box tacos for $1. But then you see stuff like this, and it's like 70s era quality. You go, I could go for a burger.
I mean, my stomach's been growling since before we started this live stream.
Right,
So.
but then you see the burger werewolf, and it hits home.
Mm-hmm.
Fun meal. There are 10 different magic meal tricks you can collect.
Burger Chef, you're incredible.
Don't say that ever again,
Here's
Jimmy.
a good idea for Halloween. Wrigley's gum. My kids love it, and it's the treat I approve of. That's because I know Wrigley's spearmint.
That sucks. Your house sucks. You're a sucky mom, and you open up the packs of gum to put the individual. Fuck you, Mom.
Double mint juicy fruit or big red gum is a wholesome treat for kids.
Not for
Just
nothing,
take
though,
one.
but if you get your fucking shit fired up, you'll grab a stick of juicy fruit. The taste will definitely move you.
It won't spoil their appetites. Each stick is neatly wrapped, ready to hand out, and there's great value in a variety of package sizes.
And fucking kids will hate you because a single stick. Here's the thing. Like today, I don't know what today they cost, but like when I was moving into adulthood, like the single packs of like juicy fruit, big red, winter fresh, and double mint were 25 cents. So to get a single stick of double mint is basically like getting your dick knocked from your body into the dirt.
That's the first house to get egged or TP'd.
Seriously, a single stick of gum?
I'm going to say this all the time, like every year, but my 5th grade teacher lived up the road from us, and like I was only allowed to go like 3 streets away from where my house was for Halloween. So that was a whole thing. But she lived on the street above mine, and she would give out full size, like kings, like the big candy bars, the full size, king size, whatever candy bars, and it was amazing.
I really hope that every neighborhood has one of those. Like, I hope every child is within walking distance of one of those benevolent souls.
Yeah.
Because it's the holy grail of Halloween. In a perfect world, for every macrame pumpkin refrigerator magnet you got, you'd run across someone who'd give you a full-size Hershey's cookies and cream, or like a king size.
Yeah, we had her, Mrs. Ekstrom was her name. She was the full-size candy bar, and then down the road from her was the guy who gave out like the stupid shitty penny toys.
There was what a shitheel I was when I was a child. But when I was a kid, I went trick-or-treating with some friends, and you know, I'm a wuss. I'm scared of a lot of stuff. So we went into this little complex of houses, and this dude was very into Halloween, so much so that, like, you know, the inside of the house was dark, and there was strobe lights and all the accoutrement, the ghosts and the spiderwebs and everything. And you don't want to be the person who reacts the exact opposite of the person next to you, right? So I was standing at the door next to my little girlfriend at the time. We're in 2nd grade or whatever. And it's that house, right? With it's spooky music to the nines, 100% done for Halloween. And my friend knew the person who lived at the house, so she knew that something was going to go on because she'd been there a million times before. This is my first time here. And so when the door opens up, it was a husband and wife team. The wife opened the door and hid behind the door as the husband, in full like zombie regalia, would like come out and fucking scare the kids. And so I'm like crying legitimately and pressing my face into my mother's thighs, like scared as hell. While my friend who knows this man goes, Ron, come on, Ron, where's the candy? And I'm like crying. I can't hear this, and it only sinks in later. And he's like, oh, you got me. Here's the candy. And meanwhile, my like snot is running down my face.
Jameson says, I had a woman give me walnuts once. I still cracked them open and ate them.
Walnuts?
Walnuts.
What? Did you grow up in like 1862?
I got like the toy guy used to give out, like when you went to the orthodontist or the dentist or whatever, and you had, well, at least
treasure chest.
We had it was like you put a coin in, and you like a token in, and you got a toy out of it. That was the shit that he gave out, and then later found out that was also a meth house. So that was a whole thing. At least they didn't like.
It's interesting that you had the same experience, although slightly different. When I went to the dentist, if I was good and didn't throw up on the dental hygienist, which happened once, just once,
I did
give you
it
a break.
once.
You get to. There was like a big cardboard, like corrugated cardboard treasure chest.
Oh yeah, we had
99% like those little mazes with the steel
with the ball in it.
Ball bearing.
We had those. And we had like every once in a great ass while, if you're lucky, you'd get a piece of candy in a little ball, in a little bubble ball.
Right. We had
popper.
like Tootsie Rolls. Sometimes you'd have those frogs that
popped up.
Yeah.
We had
the
the
finger
frogs
thing on the ass.
Yep, we had the frogs. We had the finger traps, but then like the Tootsie Rolls were the flavored ones, not chocolate.
And you'll hear
Gross.
the funniest monster jokes like, what's a vampire's favorite sport?
But that was the orthodontist.
Real quick, this is some bullshit. This is a 900 number where you can call a skeleton to get a joke or whatever.
I wonder if it's a sex hotline now.
Now that, it's definitely sex skeleton hotline. But now that I'm in an office and like the radio, like terrestrial radio plays, and I've had the benefit of going in week after week, I am calling out 99.9 KEZ. It's the local reference. They've been playing the same fucking... So like Friday is like Bad Joke Friday. I've heard the same joke from the same fucking 12-year-old kid 3 weeks running.
Yeah, 96.9 does that too.
This is bullshit. Do you not have enough, like, people to tell you bad jokes? Munster cheese is not a good punchline.
But fun story,
Or the one about
kind
the
of.
fool who missed her money.
Not really super fun, but like I called in once on Mix 96.9, another local reference with Matthew Blades and Priscilla, and won like a $2,000 shopping spree with a store for
Not a
us.
fun story.
You'll also find out how to get these scary street signs featuring...
We did get a couch from it. It wasn't fun.
We got a couple things from
It was
them.
utilitarian.
My friends Dracula, Wolfman, and Frankenstein. It costs $2.45 for a 2-minute message. So ask your mom or dad if it's
Let's
okay
call
before
the
you
number.
call 1-900-909-223.
Let's pull a baked salmon.
Don't mess this up.
1-900-909.
223.
To make you laugh.
If I were calling the Crypt Keeper, sure, I'd gladly spend $2 a minute. Some generic skeleton? Kiss my ass.
Just love Halloween.
Mono, what's my costume?
We already have a daddy, so how about a mummy?
Where's your
Who dressed up as a daddy? Because you'd be dressed like me if I wasn't dressed like a sailor.
costume, Mono?
It's the dude, the kid,
What am I going
the
to be
boy
for
kid.
Halloween?
He looks like a hobo.
Ronnie, how about a
He looks like
clown?
he
Dude's a
goes to
hobo.
work. No,
He's
he's
like
like a businessman.
No, he's a dad
a
who
big
lost
trench
his
coat.
job during the Depression. He's like a Dust Bowl dad.
He's a dust bowl.
Hey,
It's
Mono,
bullshit.
what are those things you're wearing?
My trick-or-treat safety cups.
Oh,
They're shiny
God.
aluminum foil with bright orange stripes, so they reflect light.
From the 70s to the early 90s, parents had a dedicated, concerted effort to like fuck up the costumes of children because they would do shit like this. They would either at a fast food restaurant or whatever, they'd give you something reflective or they'd pin a flashing light to you or whatever. When here's the thing.
We had a flashlight.
If you're an attentive parent, walk with your kids around the trick-or-treating area and they won't be hit by cars. If you're sending them out with a kiss and a prayer as you get sloshed at a party, then you'd want to, duct tape garbage you got at McDonald's.
Or
to
hire
their
a babysitter.
arms.
Or tell them to make sure you walk on the fucking sidewalk.
Here's the thing. You've already lived your life. Give your kids a Halloween free of McDonald's garbage taped to their fucking forearms.
Yeah, I won't do that to our son.
Where'd you get him?
Right at McDonald's.
Oh, guess where?
This Halloween, be sure you're all wearing
Perfect.
McDonald's trick-or-treat safety cups. Children should be seen and not hurt.
Only their arms should be seen, though. Maybe. If the car
doesn't
can
matter
see
what
those.
the reflective material is, as long as it's visible, most of the time it's fine. But P.S., it sucks.
Yeah.
Great
6 inches of
costumes,
reflective
everybody.
whatever isn't going to do the job if you're walking in the middle of the road.
I could be a goldfish in a goldfish bowl.
Or a clown.
A chocolate-covered marshmallow.
That's silly.
Oh, what am I?
God damn it. Okay, here's the thing. I don't want to be like that guy who's telling you how to live your life. Halloween is for scary things, right? I realize I came...
Both of us are not scary.
As a sailor, whatever. We're low effort and there's no stakes to this show because, who cares, right? But, if you have something to go to, put some effort into it. The roots of Halloween were, essentially you're dressing up as one of the weird, spooky ghosts or goblins coming back as the barrier between the living and the dead is the thinnest. So dressing up as a marshmallow is a bad idea.
Am I gonna be for Halloween?
The twins?
What do you want, Ronald?
A Halloween costume. Nice choice.
And you big copycat.
Ronald makes it magic.
Humans, we've come for your freaky floats.
What's the magic?
You know what's a bummer? Is when Kodos and Krang first showed up, I'm sure they did not think that those tentacled aliens would be staples for Halloween. So one of them was voiced by James Earl Jones.
Oh.
And after that, I think they were both voiced by not Hank
same
Azaria,
person.
but Dan Castellaneta.
Oh, so the makers of
the voice of Homer.
Yeah.
So they're both. It went from being a
super
something with gravitas, right? James Earl Jones was
the guy,
and then it was just King and Kodos, and they ran for president. And they pretended to be Bob Dole and Bill Clinton.
Fuck, we gotta do something else now.
Shit.
Magic word.
Well, blast your puny planet to smithereens.
It was trick or treat.
I was going to say that next. Yeah. Orange and vanilla. This will please the Alien Federation.
The Simpsons are back.
I do like
Burger King. Now in every big
the
kids meal, you can
sitcoms
get
like
The Simpsons.
American Dad and Family Guy and The Simpsons who do holiday specials because I don't think Rick and Morty did that. The new age
right because they exist
animated
at a time
sitcoms.
And here's the thing: it's kind of a bummer because as a media or content producer, you want your content to be evergreen, so it will be accessible all the time, or at least to me, that's something I strive for, something that you watch whenever because you want to. You need to have these weird holiday outliers to go I know it's there and it's not going to come around until next year.
Right. We know this is a thing. Here it is. Moving on. We're not going to have another one of these until next year.
Right.
A kooky, spooky
Or you can watch this again if you
Collect all
want.
10 if you dare. Float sold separately.
Did I scare you? Well, if you really want to be frightened, call me at 1-900-909-3344.
No,
I'll
it
tell
was
you a different
2233
spooky
before.
story every day. When
And
you
now it's
call, you'll find out how to get
3344
one
for
of
the
these
pumpkin.
gruesome little ruppy...
How many of these are... Whatever, I'm not going to tell that story. But, how many kids do you think, got the permission from their parents to, dial a 900
Zero.
number? But, no, I'm sure it was a few at least. but then like accidentally misdial like 1-900 wet butts or something.
Mix-a-Lot.
Like I used to do.
Bumpy creatures, and part of your $2.35 2-minute call will go to Special Olympics. So get your parents' permission and call me at 19.
That's how they got you to do it.
Well, here's the thing. I appreciate the fact that it's relegated to a 2-minute call because you don't want to bilk. Like we all saw the Simpsons episode where Bart calls Australia and the kid, and it's like a 6-hour call.
He gets kicked in the butt and all the whole thing.
It's nice to know, like, okay, we're going to exploit you for $2.35, but it's only a 2-minute call. The message will stop, and they'll probably hang up afterwards.
Right.
Like, when I was a kid, you could call and talk to Santa, or in the early days of the internet, you could, like, see where Santa was.
Oh, yeah.
And that costs money, and I can appreciate that. I don't mind, like, if my son wanted to be like, I want to call and see whatever.
This guy.
Halloween Story or hear where Santa's at or whatever, and it costs $2-3, I'd be like, sure. Because it only comes out around once a year.
Yeah.
He's not going to want to check in on Santa like June.
In June. Yeah.
900-909-3344, unless you're afraid of monsters, vampires, and ghosts.
What? And who would
It's
be?
the Pizza Head Show. Hey, everybody!
Oh my God.
My favorite Mr. Bill ripoff.
Well, Scarecrow Steve says it is.
He's no scarecrow.
Sure he is.
Uh-oh, I think I woke the neighbors.
Look.
Same era as like Stickly.
Well, I thought it was Pizza Face.
No, it's Pizza Head.
Okay.
But like
Stickly, yes, I remember Stickly.
It's weird the nostalgia circles that come around because something that's 10 years old, you go, oh, well, because this is a 90s commercial mostly, I think. Pizza Hut was a 90s creation.
Yeah.
But he was off of Mr. Bill, who was an 80s creation.
Yeah,
So
I
you
never
see,
knew what Mr. Bill was.
Like the staying power needs time. Like the 60s during the 90s, that lasted the entire decade. The longer you wait, the longer the gimmick will last. And Pizza Head didn't make it out of the 90s because
why?
Look, Pizza
Stickly didn't.
Safe in there.
Even less, yeah.
Yeah.
Relax, the Goosebumps guys just want you for dinner. See you in the next lifetime. Now you can collect one of 3 ghoulish Goosebumps.
Stickly used to annoy me when I
magic in the air when you join your
watched Nickelodeon. Like
I had no problem with Stickly. He was the
Elvira of Nickelodeon.
Right, exactly. As I was about to say, the Elvira, the Svengoolie, the whoever.
But he annoyed me. I didn't like that.
That role needs to be played by somebody. It's just the levels of competency. Some people do it really well, like Joe Bob Briggs, I would say is a master of that craft. Whereas like Tom Bergeron, who's like a professional host of things, will move the show along competently but uninterestingly.
Oh, was he Stickly?
No.
Oh.
I'm just saying he was like the host of like America's Funniest Home Videos for a while. He's a guy who they leaned on back in the day for competent, not necessarily funny or charismatic, but yeoman workman-like hosting.
Yeah.
And then you have the super annoying ones, but those fall on a different part of the meter for each person. Like maybe there's someone out there who's like, oh, Tom Bergeron's a 10, where I see him as a 5.
I think he's better on game shows.
It's whatever.
Because wasn't he the Squares? What the hell was
Hollywood Squares?
Yes.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yes,
but that's
he
the
was.
thing. I've never taken an interest in his work. I just knew he was on AFE because I loved America's Funniest Home Videos. And I was there from Saget to Fugelsang and Fuentes to Bergeron and beyond.
Favorite hair, friends coming from far and near.
Pity it only comes once a year.
There's lots of fun to be seen on Bugs Bunny's Halloween Wednesday.
What strange creatures are lurking in the night? Oh, skull face, mummy face too. Oh,
Skullface. What a frightful
They're so distinguishable.
Yeah.
Skullface and mummy face show up.
Creating their own scary disguise with cookie spooks.
Let's not pause.
They just smear it on. When
Do
the
it
makeup
yourself.
dries, it
Just
cracks
smear it
to
on
make
as your mother
beautiful
looks on in
silver
horror.
and
Yep.
rouge. Add in the sheet and the costume's complete.
Okay, kids, bye.
You guys on a sheet? Good news, you got a costume.
Do you have your reflective armbands?
There's goblins, there's ghouls, there's
It's hilarious that it comes with 3 colors.
Yeah.
spiders are bad. Halloween's coming, the trick-or-treaters are out. But look at that witch on Halloween night.
Look at
She's
that
the
witch.
first
You
one
can
with a
barely
blinking
see her.
pumpkin light. Pumpkin light flashes so everyone knows she is near. Pumpkin light makes
See?
Halloween safer.
This
and
makes more
scarier
sense
this
than
year.
reflective
And
arm
pumpkin light's
cuffs.
safer for a spooky pumpkin too.
Or just a
pop it right
flashlight.
in and watch.
Here's the thing. Any of it is unnecessary if your parents are interested in
Correct.
you not being killed.
Right, but these parents in the
Pumpkin light is
90s seem to be like,
available at
bye.
Costco, Purity Supreme, Spags, and
You did your
Leewards.
makeup. See you later.
It's coming. The day when all you want to do is put on a creepy costume and scream your head off. You've got to watch Halloween Screams. All your ghoulish...
That's the other thing that is a gonzo concept is like Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, yeah.
But that wasn't necessarily a casualty of the internet. Like when Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, like when there were networks dedicated to kids, like that was on its way out. But it was a slower death than most because, you know, like One Saturday Morning or Fox Kids, they lasted well into the 2000s, like early 2000s, obviously, but like.
Casper was my, I think, first movie I saw in the theaters, and I was
Ricci?
little and scared the shit out of me.
What?
And like I apparently
It was like a family movie.
supposedly I was like crying in the movie theater to this movie. And I don't know if it was because of the loudness, the sound, the volume of the movie or what it was. I don't know. I don't know how old I was. I don't know. This is just coming from some.
Typically people are scared of friendly ghosts.
It was probably the volume.
So keep an eye out for Halloween Screams Friday on Fox Kids.
Fox Kids, is that still a thing?
No, there's no such thing as like Saturday morning cartoons. There was Fox Kids. CBS had like
ABC Kids, right?
A bunch. Well, CBS had one Saturday morning, and before that, they had like, I remember this. I remember the branding, but they had like Mr. Bumpy. It goes Bump in the Night with all like the claymation stuff. Like Saturday morning saw a lot of changes, even in my era. And now I don't think it obviously doesn't exist anymore because like forced scarcity isn't a thing.
Right.
Hey, get ready for a monster night of TGIF.
It's a way cool Halloween bash.
It's the scariest night of the year, and we have the Queen of Halloween brewing up a frightfully
Clarissa,
Dig
I
up
mean,
some friends and join us.
And what could be scarier
Sabrina.
than 2 Urkels?
Two Urkels?
Eric's living his own nightmare. This girl won't leave him alone. Boy meets world. And what's a witch to do when she's invited to 2 parties? Body double.
That's only gross surgeons.
Sabrina. Then it's like a totally freaky Clueless. TGIF. It'll make you
I never watched Clueless. I watched Sabrina, Boy Meets World, like all those, but I never
didn't watch Sabrina. I feel like any show with animatronics was just like,
Yeah, I mean Salem. Hello.
yeah.
Hallmark's Boo Bazaar.
Boo.
Costume accessories create a spectacle beyond belief.
Go to Hallmark. It's spend $37 on
Underwear.
Try on glowing terror. Shake in your shorts. Everything to let the ghoul times roll is at Hallmark's Boo Bazaar.
Now playing in a store near you.
I'm frightened.
I feel like everybody fell asleep.
For the Studer family, today's shopping trip for Halloween supplies was unlike any other. Because they didn't just enter Target, they also entered the Twilight.
Now there are 2 types of Targets. And maybe even like the second Target doesn't exist anymore. Growing up, you had the Targets that had the Starbucks in it or the Targets that had the non-branded cafe.
With the popcorn.
Constantly pop popcorn. I don't think we've seen either of those.
Other Starbucks in like almost all of the ones we go to.
But no. I think of
Yes.
the 2 Targets we go to,
They
one
both
of them
have
has a
Starbucks.
and the other one doesn't have shit.
They both have Starbucks. I know the smell. If
Right,
if Tony were here, he would agree.
Popcorn is one of those things where you walk in. Maybe it's old timey, but like,
well, because the popcorn always went with like Pizza Hut. It was always like a weird pizza in popcorn.
You wouldn't know this, but like electrical supply houses or probably any commercial building material supply houses probably have a popcorn machine. But I remember going to like Floresco or any number of like low Granger when I was an electrician, and they would just have a popcorn machine, and like the high ritzy, like high dollar ones would have a popcorn machine and a soda machine.
Well, like doesn't like the Ace Hardware or some random like tool store has a popcorn machine?
Yeah, there's an Ace Hardware on the street, but like that doesn't.
And Shoppers has a popcorn machine.
Right. Get a pop. Like if you own a small business, offer free popcorn. It's practically free, and it'll be something that like brings people back, because like now that Target doesn't smell as like richly of popcorn and like that, like hot dogs and like shitty pizza, it becomes too sanitized. Starbucks is too sanitized. I still want to go someplace that feels like it's at least partially. I mean,
gross?
No, not gross, but like
you wouldn't eat it.
No, I definitely would. Like all those smells harken back to a time in my life where I would cut corners and be like, yeah, a Target hot dog sounds good. But I still want the smell of popcorn. Popcorn is a universal scent that I think appeals to everybody's olfactory and like probably triggers a release of dopamine.
Says the one who gets grossed out when he smells popcorn that's too buttery.
If it's too artificially buttery. But here's the thing, it's coming out.
Target.
No, stop.
Its own town of terror
I have to pee so bad. You don't understand. And almost an hour and a half.
Wow.
I mean, oh no, sorry, almost 2 hours.
Florida.
Damn.
And a chance to experience the height of fright. The new Twilight
Doesn't
Zone
change
tower of
the
terror.
fact.
Are you guys scared?
I would be.
Oh, poor Toys R Us. I'm going to take this moment to shout out Bain Capital. Fuck you for ruining Toys R Us. Mitt Romney. Dick. Could be misled, but it feels like all the research I've done, if you want to put like the death of Toys R Us on a single person, it's probably Mitt Romney. Divorced to political opinion.
Most likely.
Leveraged buyouts are a bitch.
Toys R Us has the Big Bird Halloween costume and the Yoda Halloween costume for trick-or-treating.
That's Yoda?
Yeah, that's Diddy.
Woof. Wrong color.
Goddamn, miss Toys R Us.
So, because this Halloween, Toys R Us is your Halloween headquarters. You'll find every trick or treat under the moon.
Yo, I saw this commercial IRL when it was live. Back in the 90s.
The price is so low, you'll howl. So this Halloween, bring the entire family to Toys R Us.
You don't
for a
understand.
Halloween
If you want me to
selection of
leave the
food.
seat, I will.
It's scary.
When your kids are asking for a Halloween
Elmo.
treat, Elmo says Boo is silly and sweet. For
I've
great
seen
new
that
videos
book.
full of funny friends,
might have
come
it.
to Sesame Street.
The original Elmo, who also played Splinter, got into some hot water with some allegations of a sexual nature, I think.
Allegedly.
I saw a documentary. Allegedly. and all
Allegedly.
that shit. Hold on.
It's not a Halloween episode without David being drunk.
All right, guys. Chris has got to go to the bathroom, so let's call it. We've been almost 2 hours into this for 25 minutes of material.
Yeah.
You know how we do. Time
Winning.
is the thing. Time is not a constant. And so that's why 25 minutes, 25 seconds felt like almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
But trust me, it didn't take that long. How happy Halloween, everybody. Thank you for showing up if you did. If you're showing up in the future, I hope you can keep the Halloween spirit in your heart throughout the year.
Whoops. From Sony Wonder. Always collectible, now available at these locations.
Nope. Seriously?
It's gonna play forever.
Dude.
In every Hershey bar.
You get an extra bite of Baby Ruth. Sorry, everybody. Halloween is such a disaster.
It's the ghost that made it happen.
Listen, I appreciate it. Thank you for showing up and appreciating Halloween with me. I hope with me and Krista, even though she likes Christmas more, it's me. It's
I
me
like
who loves
both.
Halloween. Don't listen to her. That's all we got for you. I hope you enjoy this Halloween special episode. We'll be back next week with who knows what. But I hope that, please, if you make a summer jack-o'-lantern, obviously not now, but like when summer starts rolling around, you make yourself a summer jack-o'-lantern out of a watermelon, take a picture and send it to me. I want to see it because I can't be the only one making jack-o'-lanterns out of watermelons in the summer.
It was pretty fun, and our son loved it.
Right. It's like, hey, you're going to throw this shit away anyway. Why not carve a funny face into it?
Yeah.
Just do it. That's it. Thank you, Ryan Maxwell, for the community post that earned your name. It's over there. You can't see it.
It's pretty far away.
It's still there, though.
Yeah, I see it. I can see the work that I made for the Popeye colors.
I guess that's it. Maybe we'll try and do some more Subway training because the store, I feel like the permits are so close to being like authorized. We're ready to start, like, you know.
This close.
The dough will be rolling in, literally, not money, but the literal dough that you'll have to defrost, bake, and then have someone look on and say, that's nice bread, or that's good bread.
I'm getting some quotes for some good, like, industrial fryers for the sandwich fryer, so we'll see what happens next week.
You know, not for nothing. Highway hats, still a brilliant idea. The butterfly/moth idea was stolen from me. I think fried sandwiches. If you don't believe in me, you're a fool. Anyway, I'm going to walk off camera for a second because I'm going to do some stuff.
He's going to walk off camera.
Thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate it. Again, showing up and watching these hilarious Halloween commercials with us. If you have a cool costume, also, please join our Discord and share it because people, you need to start dressing up for Halloween. If we're going to make Christmas a distant memory that Halloween stomped under its boot heel, we have to start here. So send me those pictures of your costumes or whatever Halloween related, and I'll see you next time on another episode of FFOP Radio. I'm going to push some buttons, and I'll see you later.
Bye.
For the try to
Fistful of Podcasts Radio.